Okay, we're going to get started, and then if some people join soon, then we can get them up to speed. But welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We're excited to have you here for this webinar on the medium range iSeries machines. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name's Ryan Waldock, and I'm the sales manager for the UK and Ireland for McElroy. And with me, I've got Brett Stone, who's the product manager for the iSeries range, as well as Volker Kohler, who is our sales manager in the European region, who's just joined us. He's based out in Germany. So over the next 45 minutes, we'll be covering all the benefits and the features of the new machines, as well as providing insights and addressing any questions that you have. We're quite confident that you'll find value in today's discussion. So if you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll tackle them at the end. So Brett, I'll hand it over to you.
All right, Ryan. Thank you, sir, very much. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Hang on one second. And go back. Sorry, everybody. Bear with me. All right, Ryan. Try this again. Here we go. How's that? Thumbs up. Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining us today. Again, I'm Brett Stone, the TracStar iSeries product manager with McElroy Manufacturing. I'm based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, where most of our products are manufactured and assembled there in Tulsa. So today I want to talk about the medium diameter machine and really what our development process and what got us to the medium diameter machine. But before I do that, I want to get everybody kind of level set here a little bit. So really, who is McElroy? So McElroy, we are the creator of the most reliable, rugged, advanced fusion equipment in the world. We are global. Like Ryan said, we have a very strong presence here in the UK, and we're gaining our presence in the European market. We've been producing fusion machines now for 70 years, and we continue to design and innovate. Again, 1954 was the year that Art McElroy really was over a conversation between Phillips Petroleum, who was just up the road from us in Tulsa. They were in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. And Phillips had produced this piping system, but they didn't quite know how to join it. So they knew of Art McElroy. They knew the inventor that he was. So they called Art and they said, hey, we've developed this piping system, but we just don't know how to join it together. And so really over a conversation, Art said, I think I can solve that problem for you. Art went away, developed the technology of the machine, and 70 years later, here we are, the world's largest producer of fusion equipment in the world. So this is a picture of Art and Penny McElroy. And Art always had a saying, there has to be a better way. And that motto has really driven our company ever since, from the very beginning, because we were always constantly looking at ways to innovate and design and develop, but to the market, to the customer, really, and just to the industry overall. Here are just a few of the innovations that McElroy has has patented and designed a centerline guidance system, which allows pipe. It doesn't matter the diameter of the pipe, but whatever range you're fusing, that center point will always be to the inside portion of the jaws of the machine. So your facer and heater are always making that center point contact on both sides of the pipe. Also, the next one is what we call industry-driven solutions. This is called the Spider. This little tool is actually designed more for the polypropylene market, but has really taken off in terms of allowing operators to simply make those connections up in the air for a lot of the polypropylene systems that are starting to be developed throughout the world. The next was self-propelled, self-contained fusion machines, the track machine we designed. And that one has a great story where a lot of people were early on saying, why do we need a track fusion machine? And now I think 90% of the machines that we ship from the States are track machines. And then the last one is really the hydraulic manifold that allows the machine to operate and allows operators to be able to fuse pipe together. This is a great story. This is Chip there on the left. I don't know who the gentleman is there on the right, but this is approximately 1990. And this was actually taken right here in the UK. And this was another innovation of ours. This was a fully automated machine. Thankfully, this market, the UK market, really pushed McElroy to develop the auto machine. And we came through, and this is Chip again at a trade show here again in the UK. This is Chip today. Art and Penny have since passed on, but this is the family that guides and directs our company. Donna on the left, Chip in the center, and Peggy on the right. But we have tremendous leadership within our organization. So let's talk a little bit about iSeries. So about 4 years ago, we designed and developed the large diameter machines. That would be our TracStar 630i, TracStar 900, and the TracStar 1200i. And we really went large diameter first. One, because we saw the need in the market to make the complex easy. And by developing and evolving the technology into the equipment, we really feel like we've done that with our large diameter machines. That technology has now since evolved. And today, that's actually a machine being used in one of our TracStar 900i right here in the UK. It looks like putting in some gas line over the last couple of years. This is our latest machine before the medium diameter platform. And this is really a new revolutionary way to look at fusing pipe. This is the McElroy Triton 560. So yeah, if you're looking at this machine, the jaws of the machine versus the pipe being laid into the jaws from an upward position, the jaws actually lower and are able to pick the pipe up off the ground. You have the facer and heater that are up in that vertical position, but they will extend down into the fusion zone, allowing the operator to be able to face and fuse all in one process. And again, with automatic fusion built into this machine. This machine is really starting to take off in all markets. We're seeing strong takeoff both in the United States, but also here in the UK as well. And really the technology came out of a machine that we developed about 15 years ago called the Talon, where the Talon will traverse over the pipe and pick the pipe up in the jaws of the machine. And it really evolved because there needed to be a simpler way and a safer way of handling pipe in the diameters that the Talon fuses together. And that's up to 2,000 meters. So very, very big pipe. And so we took that technology now to the Triton. And again, we're seeing great takeoff with this machine as well. And that leads me to what I want to talk about with you all today, which is the medium diameter TracStar iSeries. So as you can hear in my voice and the message that I'm saying, our technology doesn't stop. And it's like what Art said, there has to be a better way. So the technology that we learned and continue to develop in our large diameter machines has evolved into the Triton technology. And now a lot of that technology continues to drive us into the medium diameter machine that you have today. So a lot of the technology has been working along here over the last 4 to 5 years. So when we started looking at the medium diameter platform, there were really three key pillars that we wanted to address in this machine. The first one was, of course, innovation. We really wanted to continue to innovate in our design, the technology, and I'm going to touch on that here briefly and shortly. The next was also in the technology. As you know, technology doesn't stop. And it's only getting more and more complex throughout the world. And so technology was another key pillar that we wanted to continue to evolve into the equipment. And lastly, of course, and very importantly, is safety. We want our equipment to be the safest fusion equipment operating across the globe. So let's first touch on innovation. So the first portion of the innovation that we really looked at in terms of the development of the medium diameter machine was the indexer. The next was the data logger integration, allowing the data logger to actually integrate into the machine, and so the operator could operate the machine while using the data logger as one complete system. And then the next was the machine and the design, really when we want to continue to evolve the machine and design. And then built-in machine support, which is near and dear to my heart, and the overall user experience. So you're probably asking yourself, what is this, Brett? What is this contraption? Well, this is the indexer that drives really the machine, drives the facer and the heater. And let me explain what you're seeing here. So the indexer design down below rests on the back side of the machine. And to make auto fusion like you all use here in the UK and other European markets, but we still use other levels of fusion in the US. And to be able to use all three modes of fusion, we had to design a mechanical system that would function and integrate within fusion guide control. And we feel like we've done it with this indexer. So if you look at the machine, you're familiar with fusion machines. On the right side, you've got our facer. On our left side, you have our heater. Now, by being able to pull the facer or heater forward slightly, this will index or pivot to the lateral position, either left or right, allowing the fusion operator to be able to move the facer into the facing position, or allowing them to be able to bring the heater into that facing position. It guides on a guide rod that sits on the back of the machine, and there's a braking system that's built into the actual indexer itself. Now, the next I'm going to show you a video, and what you're going to see here is the heater is in the down position. When the indexer opens, it's going to extract the heater. So imagine if you had pipe in the fusion zone, and that heater has to pop out to be able to make that final fusion. So imagine there was pipe in the jaws, pipe is coming together against the heater surface. You've just hit your dwell time, ready to make your fusion. The heater's going to come out. And now the indexer or the carriage would close back together again, performing that final fusion. So that whole system within that indexer design allows that system to work. So that was a huge innovative step for us within the development of the medium diameter platform. If you look at our large diameter machine, all of that functionality is driven through hydraulics and electronics. This mechanism right here is a purely mechanical system. The next key portion of the innovation was the data logger and the integration of that into the actual machine. So for those of you that have used our machines in the past, you know that you could either fuse and data log, or you could fuse and not data log. That was purely up to the operator and their choice. Well, now with the integration of the data logger into the actual operation of the machine, you have to have the data logger attached to be able to operate that machine. And so as you'll see as I go forward in this presentation, you'll see how easy it is to be able to toggle between the data logger screen and the operational screen. And really, I've found this now that we've had machines in the market, that operators are actually able to pick up the actual use of the machine and functionality of the machine easier than they were previously. So I'm really excited about how we've developed in the integration of the data logger into the machine itself. And so much so that this was a recent job site that I was on back in the States, where the operator was using the data logger as the training tool. So he was using this to guide these gentlemen through the actual steps and train them on the actual operation of the machine. So it's a tremendous training tool as well. And we have built-in training functionality into the data logger itself, which you have questions on that, Ryan or Volker would be happy to assist you on those questions. So the other key thing that we wanted to look at was machine design. And we're always looking at the design of the machine. You saw the Triton earlier, how that was designed in a different way of picking up the pipe and maneuvering the pipe. Same thing we want to do here. And I want you to know that we don't forget those customers that have legacy machines, older machines in the field. It's very important for us that those machines are continuing to work and do their job. And so I'm proud to say that in the design of the medium diameter iSeries, you can use your older carriages. So if you have, say, your 250 carriage, an older 412 carriage, an older 618 carriage, you can bring those carriages forward and use them on the new vehicle design. Now, you can't take the iSeries carriage and go backwards, but anything that's been in the field that you've been comfortable working with, you can bring those carriages forward and they will mate to this machine. Now, you won't have fusion guide control with that functionality, but you can still use the older hydraulic manifold as part of that function. And here in the UK markets, you've also got the auto machines that are still out there, if I'm not mistaken. Some of the other design changes that we make briefly that I want to touch on is one is a standard 16-inch heater, which used to have two heaters in that range, and now it's a standard heater. And as you saw, it's mated to the indexer of the machine. And we've also added hydraulic capacity, and we've hidden the hydraulic tank underneath the white cowling on the machine. So we've had some instances where accidental fluid, different fluids be poured into the hydraulic tank. And so we wanted to take that away and hide that so we wouldn't have those problems in the field anymore. So this is another innovation that I'm really proud of, and it's really built-in machine support. So as the product manager, I'm really highly conscientious of just the overall user experience of our equipment. And so as an operator, what this tool and feature will allow you to do is we all today have these with us, our iPhones or our phones of some sort. So if you see that QR code there and that sits right underneath the data logger cover, all you have to do is scan that QR code and it will take you to what we call the resource library. And this contains about roughly 30 short 30 seconds or 60-second clips of how-tos in terms of the operation of the machine. So if you have a question as an operator, you're not quite sure how to do a certain step, all you got to do is scan that QR code. It's going to take you to that resource library, find the category that you're looking for, review that clip in the field as long as you've got a connection, and you'll be able to have that and then have that comfort level that now you're ready to proceed and move forward in your functions. And so, again, I'm really highly cautious and I want to make sure that our user experience and our equipment is the absolute best. So that brings us to the next pillar that we really looked at, and that was technology. And as we all know, technology doesn't sleep. It's changing. We're hearing more and more about AI and the growth of AI across the globe and what that's going to look like. The Fusion Guide Control was very important for us. Now, Fusion Guide Control, I've touched on it earlier, was automatic fusion in the European market. You all were way ahead of us, really, in the United States. We were slow to adopt automatic fusion. I will tell you that now that we have automatic fusion capability in the large diameter machines and our medium diameter machines, we are seeing huge results in terms of operators back in the States, and that's the level of fusion guide control that they automatically gravitate to go to. So we're seeing, again, huge growth in that market, and that was a great adoption into the machine itself. The other one was CAN bus system. We'll touch on that one, and then user interface of the machine. So again, I've talked about fusion guide control, giving that operator different levels of fusion, and automatic fusion is level 3, advanced guided workflow is level 2, and for those operators back in the States still want the functionality or control of the machine, then they have level 1 as their option. This is a picture of me, again, training a group here recently, and we started out in different functions, and I love this image because they were like, forget it, all we want to see is level 3. And this was a group of gas operators back up towards the New York area back in the States. And now I think we've sold them completely on automatic fusion, hopefully in the gas world back in the States as well. So CAN bus system, and no, this image isn't mistaken. It's not there on mistake. I was driving down the road the other day with Volker and Ryan, and I started looking at the screen on Ryan's Peugeot that we're driving in this week. And as I looked at that, I thought, you know what? Very interesting, because that's very much like the system that we've designed into our large diameter machine and now our medium diameter platform as well. So the machine is really communicating within itself, much like the CAN bus system within your car. So as the car is driving and it's performing, you have that entire system communicating, make sure that system is operating as it should be operating. Now, if something happens, the driver's going to get that notification that, hey, something's off, something might need to be corrected here. But I love the screen on this machine because it made me think of, you've got on your right side, you've got your CAN bus system, and on your left side here, it's really essentially your data logger. So this is like the future operation, maybe, of what we'll see in fusion technology someday. But it really made me think of the CAN bus systems that are driving our fusion machines today. And we did evolve that into the indexer and into the carriage of the medium diameter platform. This is a screen of what the user interface looks like. Very simple to use. And if you look down below there at the bottom, you'll see the data logger highlighted in light green. You hit that as the operator, and it's simply going to take them right to the data logger screen. And down in the right-hand corner there, that's how they toggle back and forth to the operational screen. So very easy to operate. Again, I'm seeing big gains in terms of the operator and how simple it is to train operators and get them up fusing faster, because the training is able to take place faster, just really because the machine is easier to operate. So the next key pillar that we looked into was safety. Safety is highly important for us at McElroy, and I'm going to touch on a few things here. One is hydraulic lockout on the machine. 2 is ergonomically the design of the machine itself. And then overall is the improved and safer operation of the machine. So I can't highlight safety enough for our operators, but these are key functions that we built into the machine that we wanted to bring to those operators. So hydraulic lockout, what does that mean? So as an operator, as we all know, we say in the functionality of the machine, say we've just opened the machine, we've engaged our facer, we've faced that pipe down. Now we have all that ribbon material inside that fusion zone that we've got to clean out before we proceed to make our fusion. What hydraulic lockout will allow us to do, and you, is simply you hit the button on the screen, and the screen left here, what that is showing you is you have full hydraulic lockout. So the operator can safely be inside that area, pull all that ribbon out, safely clean the pipe, and not have to worry about any hydraulic function re-engaging and having that carriage move. They can be assured that they have complete hydraulic lockout on the machine. And what is able to do that is that simple valve on the right side there. That simple valve there allows for the hydraulic lockout to happen. But one thing I do want to touch on is this screen itself it is very intentional in terms of the operation. So if an operator walked by this screen, accidentally hit that screen, then that screen would not come back to life. They intentionally have to take their finger, drag it across that slider there in the middle of the screen, and that will re-engage the hydraulic lockout. So once the operator goes and sets hydraulic lockout, they can be rest assured and safely assured that it's fully locked out for them to be able to perform the clean out of the fusion zone. Another key part of safety is ergonomics. And many of you that have used our machines over the years know that our heaters on a lot of our legacy machines were separate, not contained within the machines. The 500s that are here and the auto machines that have been in the UK market, you've really been blessed because you've had that heater attachment. But this is something we really looked at for the US market and some other markets as well, where if you think of that operator, if he's making 10 fusions a day, he's having to bend down, pick up that heater, and bring it into that fusion zone on that repetitive motion. And we really wanted to take that repetitive motion out of the equation completely, so he wouldn't even have to worry about that functionality of the fusion process any longer. So now with the heater contained within the machine, we know now that we don't have to worry about him being able to have to bend down to be able to do that. And that's that heater bag that's there on the ground with the heater contained in the machine. Some other ergonomics that we built into the machine also around the heater was now you can bring that heater in to a first lock position, which this image is in. That allows the heater or the operator to safely clean both sides of the heater surface, be able to do their heater check to verify the surface temperature on the heater. And this is much like your what I refer to as like your cable pulley in your garage, where you have different, you pull it and it locks, pull it and it releases. Same principle designed around this one, where it's going to lock in that first position so you can clean that lower portion of your heater, bring it into the second position and be able to clean that upper portion of your heater, be able to do your temperature check safely. As an operator, being able to focus on that and not have to worry about focusing on the heater and holding the heater at the same time, and then simply bring that heater down into a unlock position, and you'll feel the tension and release, and the heater will simply come back up into the heater sling that you see there. So again, ergonomics plays a huge part in safety of the operator and how we designed the medium diameter machine. And the last key topic really is to improve just safer in terms of the operation. I touched on hydraulic lockout that you see here, but you also see on the right side there an emergency stop button. Now we've had that emergency stop included in our 500 autos that have also served the UK market for quite a long time. We brought that forward and have evolved that into this technology as well. There's some other things you don't see here, but we wanted to really strengthen the hydraulic lines within the cage as well, making sure that potentially any hydraulic leakage wouldn't affect the operator. So we went to solid stainless tubes within the entire carriage, but on the outside there, as you see the hosing, we went to a reinforced hosing that's much more durable and stronger than the hosing on our previous machines. And so we really wanted to think about that for the operator safety as well. So I like to use this quote. You hear this used around McElroy quite a bit, but it's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change. We feel that change at McElroy is very important. And if we're not changing, we're not evolving, we're not developing, and we're not producing a better machine for you, our customer, to be able to use in the field. So I love this quote. And as Art McElroy will always tell us, there's got to be a better way. So we will continue to evolve that process and continue to change our medium diameter machines. Just this morning, I was talking to Ryan and Volker. We were talking about the medium diameter platform and even our large diameter machines. And I want you to know that even though we have a finished product that you see in the field, We continue to evolve the software, the design, and are continuing to look at ways to constantly better our equipment to really improve the user experience for you all, our customer. So at this point, I really want to stress and thank our two key partners that are here in the UK market. Sunbelt Rentals and Fusion Utilities are both critical partners for us, and they both do a phenomenal job for us here in the UK. I was really proud to meet with both partners this week, and just the excitement that's happening within the UK market has me really excited. And I just want to hopefully we can get this excitement happening in the US market as well. But you all have a lot going on here in the market in the UK and into Europe. And I also want you to know that we do have an office and a presence right here in Milton Keynes. We have a great office and a service capability right here, headed up by Ryan, and he does a phenomenal job with that. And this is our team. On the left there, you have Volker, our international sales manager with Europe, and it's Volker Kohler. In the middle guy is Ryan Waldock. Ryan is our international sales and support manager for the UK and Ireland. And then the gentleman on the right, that's Rafael Quintero, our international sales manager and marketing manager. And Rafa and I work very closely out of our Tulsa office back in the States. So without these gentlemen, though, we couldn't make this happen. And we do have a machine presence right here in the UK. So with that, I know hopefully I haven't gone through things too fast, but hopefully I've generated some questions. So at this point, I'm going to open up to questions, and I'm going to have Ryan help me address these questions one by one. Ryan, I know you're muted still. See anything?
Yeah, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If anyone doesn't have any questions, feel free to contact us afterwards. We'll be sharing this recording on social media and on YouTube so that you can watch it back and go over everything that we've covered. We'll also have our contact details in there as well. Looks like Chris has got a question. Awesome praise. We'll take it.
Thank you.
Okay, well, if any questions do come up, then yeah, feel free to reach out to myself, reach out to Brett, reach out to Volker. We'll be happy to help you with anything that you've got. And yeah, thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time.